What's up, it's John here with Platinum the Paint Contractor, bringing you here another awesome video of tips, tricks, and tools, and just ways that we do things here at Platinum the Paint Contractor. So here, this video, as y'all can see through the title, it's called How to Read Architectural Plans for Beginners. So I'm going to try to explain the architectural section of a set of plans in the most basic and simple way as I think I can explain it so that someone else could understand it. So I'm gonna, even though it's how to read architectural plans for beginners, I'm gonna use the cover sheet for the sheet index, so that I can reference for the plan sheets. That's just how I normally work. So that's just how I'm gonna explain it. Once I get an understanding of the job, I'll take it off from the screen, but as I go and get an understanding of the project when it's new to me. So here in a set of drawings, you'll have structural section, architectural section, mechanical section, plumbing section, electrical section, and technology section on this project. But I'm only going to speak about the architectural section. So whatever sheets that are provided for me on this project, that's what I'm going to go over on the architectural section, on what type of information you'll be able to find and locate in this section of sheets that pertain to this particular project. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Here it looks like in sheet AE10, I'm going to get existing site utilities and some photos. The photos, I don't know what they're going to be referencing to or what they're going to show, but it looks like I'm going to have some photos on this particular set of architectural sections. I'm also, before I get into that, because most sheets are going to have the basic information, which is, I'm going to go over it on the cover sheet, but you're going to see it in just about every single sheet that we go through the architectural section. And that's how I'll locate the sheet, and that's how I'll be able to be able to identify whether or not I'm looking at the sheet that I need to look at to obtain the information that I need for whatever I'm looking for on that project. So here you'll have, this is the cover sheet. You'll have quite a bit of information on this, but that's not what this video is about, so I don't want to get stuck just on this sheet. But if you want me to make a video on this sheet and what type of information you'll find that's important, leave it down in the comment section and I'll make a video that'll pertain to what just, single sheets. If you want me to make a video what you'll find on every single sheet, leave it down in the comment section, and let's see what I can do, that if there's enough people wanting those types of videos. So on each sheet in the architectural section, you'll find what is the title block. If I'm not mistaken, that's what it's called. It's called a title block. Here, you'll find the information that is, I would say, important to the project. You'll find things like the name of the project here. You'll find the address of the project. You'll find the sheet number, which is going to be sometimes letterings and numberings with points and dashes and some things like that, and the sheet name. For instance, this one is called the cover sheet, and it's sheet number G0.0. So here, if we go to the index of drawings, G0.0 is the cover sheet. So that's what it'll look like to find, to locate that exact sheet that you're looking for in the architectural section. You'll also get a revisions section. Revisions will be changes that have been made, recent important changes that have been made since the last updated or the last time the architect stamped for approval for those plans can be used for bidding purposes or whatever the case may be. You'll have an idea of how far the information. You don't want plans from a year ago that you're barely bidding it, and like this one, for instance, you're barely gonna bid it, and the information, you don't know that something has been changed. You just want to call and make sure, hey, I noticed that the last time this project has been stamped or approved was this year on this date of this month, and we're a year later, 2 years later, 2 years later, and has anything changed on this project that I need to know about? Oh yeah, we've signed new revisions ones. Let me send them to you. Boom, you got a whole new set of plans. Same ones, but just a few similar. They're gonna be almost the same, but they're gonna have a few revisions, changes, and things like that. This one you'll find also things like what was it? Yeah, the approved stamped. Uh, that's about it. You're gonna have this important information, a title block on each sheet. I'm not gonna go into things you're gonna find on a cover sheet, and not all cover sheets are gonna be the same. But this is just how this one looks. You get a color 3D um, picture of the what the project is, the outcome of the project supposed to look like. So now we'll start going through the sheets and what we're gonna find on the sheets. All projects will have this type of information. It won't be this number of sheets. It could be less. It could be more. You could have some sheets having um, one sheet having a lot of these, whatever this project has on different sheets. On a different project, a smaller project, it might have a lot of that information on one sheet, just depending on the size of the project. But for this one, these are things that they're providing us. um, they feel is necessary to separate it in different sheets because they don't want to clutter a sheet. It's necessary for them to just separate things, and this is what gives you the outcome of an architectural section of a set of plans. So for beginners, let's go ahead and get started and learn how to, hopefully you can get an understanding. Also, before we get, if you've stayed to this time, don't forget throughout the video, if you feel something that you've learned, liked, or enjoyed throughout this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that little bell to get new notifications of when new content or new videos have been posted to this channel. Also, don't forget to leave comments down in the comment section of more content that you would like to see, and whether or not you liked the way I explained it. Leave things in the comments section, please. Whether you liked how I explained it, whether you didn't like it, if I could explain it better in this way, give more details of this. That way I know what I'm confused now. I see that there's 400 something subscribers at this time of me making this video, but I just don't know what type of content that y'all want to see. So leave it down in the comment section. That being said, let's go to sheet AE 1.0. Let's go to AE 1.0 with the site utilities and photos. So here, this sheet, you're not always going to have a sheet like this on the projects. You're getting some photos here, and you're getting some a plan of an area or of utilities, what's going to be done or something like that. So you won't always have a sheet with photos showing certain conditions and things like that. It'll usually have to visit the project or have a pre-walk or a pre-bid conference or something like that. So whoever's providing you with the set of plans, make sure you obtain all the information necessary for that project, even if it's a pre-bid conference. Let's go to our next sheet. Now we have site demolition. So here we're going to get the site demolition AD 1.0. AD 1.0 site demolition, or title block. You're always going to have the name of the project, the address, the stamp approval, any revisions. We're going to find the sheet number, which is AD 1.0, the one that we're looking for, and the site demolition plan, the name of the sheet. So here looks like you're going to get what they want from the site, meaning what is going to, wherever the building or whatever's pertaining to that project, plants, fences, whatever, buildings, it's showing you what needs to be demoed, whether it's buildings, whether it's parking lots, signs, trees, whatever. That's what you're going to get on a site demo plan. On this one, for instance, on this case, on this project, you're getting that you want certain things demoed, remove existing concrete sidewalks from here to here, remove and relocate existing exhaust vents on the face of the wall to the new roof. They're gonna, whatever, I guess there's a wall there, and they want to remove remove existing tree, landscape drawings. So go to your landscape drawings. That's not what this video is about. We're going to stick to architectural drawings, but you're still going to have to. So if this was, you're going to take them off and plant them somewhere else, you got to go look into that section, but we're not going to talk about that. We're only going to talk about architectural because it pertains to the demolition and that's part of the architectural section. That's why it shows up on this sheet. Let's go ahead and go to our other sheet. It's going to be rated penetrations. So here's one that you're not always going to get, but if they can provide this information for you to obtain certain types of things that you're going to need, this is awesome. So like I said, the architect's not just going to throw a sheet and waste time on a sheet just because everything is important. So always keep that in mind. Let's go to let's look for sheet A0.1. Let's go to A0.1 rated penetrations. Here we're gonna get penetrations. It's something that's gonna get drilled through, whether it's walls, stud walls, CMU walls, concrete sidewalks. Look for, if the information is pertaining to you, you look for it, and if it's for you, you'll know that you need to. It's for something. So here it's telling us that it's in a certain area. If we were to look for it throughout the project, probably it's gonna eventually take us here. We're gonna have to come and look at this if we're looking at a certain item, because here it says that these things right here is a diagram. Here's a diagram. Here is notes. So you'll get different things throughout a set of architectural plans or plans. You'll get diagrams, you'll get notes, and you'll get charts and yeah, diagrams, notes, and charts, if I'm not mistaken. And throughout that, throughout the plans, you'll also have sections, details, and things like that. But right now, if we come across them, I'll try to go through explaining them. But here, you also have details, because here, not only do you have a diagram of something that it's showing you, you have the notes, but you also have the details of each thing that it's showing you for that area. So here, 3 means they want a 1-inch thick minimum 3M fire barrier caulk. They're going very specific, so you better make sure that that's exactly what is being used, for instance, if this pertains to you, and where they are throughout the job. So that's why it's pointing out here, wherever there's going to be this type of penetration, who's going to be responsible for that, and who's doing it, and how does it have to be done. 2 is that's the steel pipe. That's probably copper tubing diagram smaller, so that's probably the electrician. But who's going to caulk that? Is it the electrician? Is it the sheetrocker? Is it the painter? Is it just the caulker? Is it the fireproofing people? Who is it? So things like that. So here I'm kind of going off topic, but it's all pertaining to the architectural section. Like I said, you have a diagram, you have your notes, and you have your details. These are not the only types of details you'll have. You'll have things like this, other things that'll pertain to the project, but that's what you'll get on this sheet. So that's penetrations. Let's go to our next sheet, site plans, A1.0. A1.0, this is the site of wherever the construction or the demos or whatever, just a big aerial view of what and where this project or the surroundings of this project is taking place. That's the type of information you'll find on that sheet. Let's go to site details, A1.1. A1.1, it's going to be details of something that was on the site. So I'll just zoom into one. Here you're going to get, obviously, it looks like concrete pavement patch. So somewhere throughout the project or throughout the site, remember the whole job is the site, but this is referencing to somewhere in, we're not going to look through it, but if we look through the site plan that I just the one right before this page, the A1.0, somewhere through there we'll find somewhere where we need to reference to this page, which is this one, and this number because it's going to show that it's going to be a patch somewhere in the pavement of 6 inches, it looks like. And what they want number 4 bars, 12 inches, something like that. Things like that. So you're getting details of the plan from the previous page, but eventually if this was your item that you're gonna bid or you're gonna do for the job, or you need to look for on the job, or you're on the job, or you're the future superintendent on the job, and you need to understand it, this is how you'll find that, because they'll reference you from one page to another. But this on this site detail, this is what you'll find on this details of things that need to be done on the site. A2.0, we're going to get the first floor plan. So here they're calling it the first floor plan, but it's just looks like it's one floor. So A2.0, first floor plan. And the type of information that you're going to find here is obviously like an aerial view or a 2D model of the construction project, or what's being done, or what is going to get done on this project. And this, you'll find quite a bit of information on this sheet. You're going to have things like this on this particular project. It could mean something on another project, but for instance, this one, it's going to mean your elevations. So whoever drew out this project is pointing out that this specific wall, for instance, this arrow is pointing at this area. So they want to show you something that's very important on this wall that you need to know. So let's go to it. Even though we haven't came to that sheet, we're still going to go to it because we want to see what here it wants to show you regardless to this little note here, or this marking, or this drawing right here, this shaded triangle. A3.0. So we got to go to sheet A3.0 and look at drawing number 5. So let's go to sheet A3.0, interior elevations, and go to drawing number 5. So this is how it's going to look. So if you're trying to find something on this specific wall to know what goes on there, what materials go on there, what needs to be done, or what is the wall on top and what is the wall on bottom, or how high does the tile go, or what's the pattern of the tile, the design of the tile, any of that information, that's how you'll be able to find it. And that's what that little drawing means on the floor plan. Other things that you'll find on the floor plan is the walls. So what type of walls they are, doors, where the doors are going to go, where the stalls are going to go, where the bathrooms are going to go, things like that. These are going to be like the way we just looked at one right now, where it says here, go to sheet this, drawing number this. These are here because somewhere throughout the job, you'll probably have to reference back and forth to get an understanding of what you're looking for and what you're trying to find. But eventually, if you're going throughout the job, eventually something will lead you to where you'll need this information here or something. This one, for instance, the tile goes this high, not as high as the one that we just saw, the elevation that we just saw on sheet A3.0, drawing number 5. If you remember, we just went up to here. Here in the bathrooms, it goes a little higher. It goes up to showing you here. You know, things like that. So that's the type of information you'll find on a floor plan. And once again, title block will be able just to verify and things like that. Now, if you want to measure something, it is very important to know that whatever you're measuring with, or whatever tool you're using to measure with, the scale, you're using the scale that pertains to that plan or that drawing or that section or that detail. This one, for instance, on this plan, the scale, they want you to measure with the 1/8 scale, referencing and representing 1 feet or 1 linear foot, or whatever the case, but 1/8 equals 1. So here, that's what we would use if we're trying to measure something here. But if we just move over here and now we're looking at something else because we've moved from here, we wanted to find something in this bathroom. Why? Because when I look at this bathroom, it's telling me to reference here and get a better understanding of the bathrooms, more details. Go to sheet A2.0, drawing 4. I'm already on sheet A2.0, but drawing number 4 is right here. Here, if I want to see this wall here, then I'll go to sheet A2.0, drawing number 5, and drawing number 5 is right next to it. So see how I went from one thing, from the plan to a area representing something that I need to verify what it means because I wanted to find information, to going to another plan, then to going to a drawing to get a representation of what this elevation may be. You got to make sure though that the scale, you're using the right scale to measure whatever you're measuring for. Now I already have, remember I just jumped from 1/8 because of the floor plan. Now I'm measuring the restrooms. This is a scale of 1/4. Now I want to measure the wall, but this is a scale of 3/8. So it just jumped and jumped and jumped. And that you got to be very careful whenever you want to get maybe a height or something, or an understanding, or a square feet, or a linear foot, or a total of something, that you're using the correct scale when you're looking at a set of plans if you need to obtain important information. So I'm not going to go over too much more, but this sheet on this plan, for instance, on this set of architectural plans, is very important. I can get a lot of information. I can obtain a lot of information for different types of trades using this on quantity wise, or material quantity wise, or things like that. So let's go back to our cover sheet. A3.0, we're still going to go over it even though we already saw it. Here, A3.0, these are elevations. What are elevations? As you've seen in the previous, when we clicked over at wall A3.0, drawing number 5, showing that elevation. It's almost like if that arrow, we're standing in the position of that little blue arrow and we're looking at that wall. So that's an elevation. So on elevation plans, those are the types of drawings that you're going to be able to use to get an understanding of what it actually looks like looking at it face to face. Eventually it'll reference from one thing to another, but you'll need to obtain certain things. So if you're running the job and you want to know how high you want to make sure the tile guy put the tile at the right height, then you'll come back and look to make sure in this corridor, is he putting it at the right height? How would I check it? 3/8. Let's go ahead and make a we'll go ahead and get an idea from the floor, that tile. Uh-oh, I made the wrong one. I made a count. So from the floor, it shows that 4 feet 3 inches, 4 feet 4 inches. Yes, 4 feet 4 inches. That's how high the tile is supposed to be. So I want to make sure that he also used the right size of tiles. Did he use 4x4s? Or 6x6s, because it called for 6x6s. Maybe he bought 4x4s by accident. So before it's installed, you check all those details. That's the type of information you'll be able to find on a elevation sheet. Now, a project could have many elevation sheets. A project could have a few drawings of elevations throughout the project if it's a very small project. But this is the type of information you'll be able to obtain from an elevation sheet. And that's just an interior elevation sheet. A4.0, plan and soffit details and wall to deck. Let's go to A4.0. A4.0, so eventually This sheet came before the ceiling sheet, so it's just showing you details of how a soffit might has to go, and the details of that soffit. So here we have a drywall column. Eventually it'll show us on the plan. It'll have a square around something showing you, and then it'll reference to, you got to reference eventually to this to show what it's going to take. So here it's showing, for instance, you got that column from the structure. Then, so let's go to this one. Let's see if we can find this. No, let's just explain it. So here you got that drywall column, but here in the column, even though you got drywall here and drywall here, or no, I'm sorry, you got drywall here and drywall here, it looks like, but here you have ceramic tile. So it's showing you detail. This is going to be as if you're looking at it from the top. It's already been installed and you're looking at it as a what is it, 3D mod? Yeah, 3D model, looking at it from the top, like an aerial view. So that is a detail pertaining to this product. I hope I explained it properly and I didn't get my words mixed up. But this sheet is A4.0. That's the number that we needed to look for when we went back. And the name of the sheet was Plans, Soffits, and Details. So these are details and plans of certain things, soffits in this case, details that you're going to need to know. That have they been installed correctly? Did the tile go where it needed to go? Did did they put the metal stud first? Did they put the sheetrock, or did the guy try to just put the installer try to put sheetrock instead of hardy board, and things like that. So you'll be able to find those types of details in a detail sheet like that. Roofing and ceiling plans. So A5.0, roof and ceiling plans. So here you get a few pictures. You're not always going to get pictures. This one, I think you're getting some picture. We're getting some pictures because it's an existing building. So this is an addition and renovation, looks like. So they want to show you some conditions of whatever you might need to. I don't know too much about the actual labor of the roof, but you might need to coat it with something, or they want to make sure you know the conditions of the roof and things like that. So that's what they're showing you there. Here you get a reflective ceiling plan. So here, let me go back and make sure something. Here, usually you'll get what is called a RCP, reflective ceiling plan, but here they're giving you the roof and the ceiling plan in one on one sheet. So things that you'll be able to find on the roof and ceiling plan on this particular project. On the roof, if it was just the roof plan and sheet A5.0 by itself, no ceiling plan, it would just be one sheet with the information pertaining to the roof, the slopes and things like that. The material that is going to be required. If you go through here, you'll find material that you're going to need or things like that. And if you can't, there's other ways to find that. Leave that in the comment section. If you can't find certain things on a project, leave it in the comment section. If you would like me to help you, or go over certain things that you might be having trouble on a certain project, or even do a takeoff or things like that, leave it down in the comment section. Or if you leave it down in the comment section from here forward, I should be able to get back to you pretty quick, or on your comments and things like that. Don't leave comments of questions that are simple questions, and don't leave comments on pricing. I don't give numbers on pricing or how to price things or things like that. Nothing like that. This is to understand how to read and understand blueprints for different trades or things like that you might need. But if you want to do a takeoff, especially if you want to do paint takeoff. That is what I do. I do paint takeoffs for um, my paint company. And if that's what you need help for, because that is my expertise, I'm a paint contractor, then leave it down in the comment section, because those types of things, obviously for a fee, I will be able to provide my assistance. So that being said, let's get back to this. So here, the type of information you'll be able to find now on a reflective ceiling plan. If it was by itself, if it was called sheet A5.0 ceiling plan, you'll be able to find what the ceiling is going to look like if you're looking at it as in an aerial view, or if you're able to look at it from the floor and look at the whole building, laying down on the floor, being able to see every material. So say you were laying down in the middle here, you're looking up, you'll be able to see all the ceiling tile, all this grid, where the tile would go, what rooms would take sheetrock, what rooms would take tile, how high they go, things like that. You'll be able to find heights, materials, things like notes. So here you have notes that are pertaining to this ceiling plan. You'll find where the lights are gonna sit, but you won't find diagrams and things like that of electric or wiring. That'll be on the electrical plans. You'll find some things maybe on some ceiling plans, but you're probably not going to be able to find everything. That'll be another sheet and another set of plans, not in the architectural section. Roof details in sheet A5.1. Same thing like site details, same thing like soffit details. They're going to be details of roofs, of the roof of, I said roofs because if it's, I'm talking in general projects, how certain areas should look, what you need to put, how the material needs to be applied, what needs to be applied, how it should. So here's the metal deck, here's the rigid tapered insulation staggered throughout the joints, here's the pre-finished sheet of metal flashing, here's going to be the pre-finished conductor head with overflow sheet metal, whatever it's going to pertain to you. These are details of whatever you're looking for throughout the plans. It's going to reference you back to these types of sheets, and this is where you'll be able to find it. You'll eventually go to sheet number. It will say reference. It won't say reference, but it'll show you the way it showed you that elevation. It'll say, like right here, A5.1, which is a sheet, drawing number 1, drawing number 2, drawing number 3. If that's the drawing that you need, that is directing you to obtain that information, that's how they'll be labeled, not just for an elevation, for any type of detail. A6.0, exterior elevations and building sections. So on bigger projects, exterior elevations and building elevations will be separate. How I kind of want to explain it so you can get understanding. Exterior elevation is the same thing as you're looking at it from face to face. Building section, it's kind of like, I would say, you have a sandwich, you cut it in the middle, and you're able to see the layers of the materials or the items used for the project. So you're able to see, for instance, the bread, then the ham, then the lettuce, then the cheese or whatever, however you stack it up. That's how you're able to see it face to face. So it's cut in half, and you're able to see on the project the materials, the room numbers, things like that, of basically the structure of the building. Kind of, I don't know if I explained it properly, but I hope I did. So let's go to sheet A6.0. Here, the types of information you'll find is the same thing like an interior elevation. Details of how something should look. So here you got an elevation of the outside of this building. You're getting a drawing of the ramp, details of how high and how the first floor and things like that, details of the windows, how they're going to look, things like that. But you'll be able to find also here, you got a photo. They provided a photo of how eventually it's going to look, or you might need it because it's not telling you, I don't know, the material, but you need to make sure that those are the colors that they want you to use, things like that. Notes. So Here you have drawings, you have notes, and you also have pictures that they're providing on this sheet A6.0. This is the type of information, once again, you'll be able to find on an exterior elevation. Here is what I was explaining to you as a section. So here's the building basically cut in half, and it'll also have a reference. Usually it'll look like this, but on the floor plan, and it'll be showing you how it should look like. So here you have the room, the above, here's the finished ceiling, the dark black line of it can be sheetrock maybe, or ceiling grid or whatever. And then how the mechanical area, you're getting a view of how that should look and what materials are being used to accommodate the architect to finish this project. Let's go to the next sheet. Wall types and section details. A7.0 wall types and section details is when I was showing you the little square, when I said this is how you'll be able to identify. If you go back to the beginning of the video, I showed you this is how you know what type of wall it is. That will eventually reference to another sheet that'll tell you, okay, these are the walls that are being used for that project. This wall is going to be double-sided drywall construction because it's F or it's A2, A31, whatever it's referencing to. That's how you'll be able to know how that wall is going to eventually be built. Room and door finish schedules. So usually also, once again, you'll have your room schedule if it's a bigger project on one sheet, and your door finish schedules on another sheet, and sometimes even your window schedules on another sheet. Here, it's not really a plan. It's basically some details, some drawings, some notes, and some charts. So if you wanted to know things like, okay, this is the room number, what needs to be done to that room number, what's the material that are they putting on, applying the right material to the right wall, things like that. Is the right material being used, things like that. What type of base is this room gonna take? Because you'll be able to obtain all that information in referencing the floor plan to the finish schedules, to the notes and things like that. But here on the finish schedule and the door schedule, even the door schedule, you'll be able to find, okay, is it a wood door? Is it a single door? What door are they using? Because the type of door, then I'll go to my list, and these are the type of doors that it's showing. It's a door or D door or an F door. And here it's showing an A door, a D door, or an F door. Is it a double door? I can tell normally that because it's not going to be a 3 foot. It can be sometimes an 8 foot or a 6 foot. Is it a 7 foot, or is it going to be a little bit taller, a 7 foot, 4-inch door? Things like that. You'll be able to obtain on a door schedule or a finish schedule of what I just finished explaining. Here you got some details of how that door frame with the drywall should come together, things like that. But yeah, that's the type of information you'll find on a room and door finish schedule. Here, like I said, we didn't come across on this project too many charts and things like that, but this is what a set of plans, especially an architectural section, will contain is charts, plans, diagrams, notes, details, things like that. A8.1, last but not least, this one it's gonna have an opening detail, and it's gonna tell you what type of opening and how the control joint should look. If it's on the outside, it's just referencing to a note, probably from the exterior elevation, on a specific opening. So that is it for an architectural section. Now this is just a quick explanation and a basic explanation so that you can have an understanding. All projects are going to have the same type of information. It's just you have to know how to obtain whatever you're looking for on a specific item you're looking for. When I say item, it can be tile, it can be the concrete, it can be the door, it can be the knobs, it can be the toilets, just anything on the job. But that this video, I hope that I explained it in the most quickest and basic vocabulary so that someone that has no knowledge of how to read blueprints can read and understand an architect section of a set of blueprints. That being said, I hope this video you liked it, enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that little bell to get information of when new content has been posted to this channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. God bless you. You have a wonderful and blessed day. See y'all next video.